Hi everybody, my name's Lily and I'm the book reviewer behind Utopia State of Mind. And today I want to show you a little bit about my RF Kuang collection, aka the collection that seriously someone probably would break into my house and steal, because these are all my little book babies here. And not all of my book babies. I did not make this video because I wanted to gloat. I made it for two reasons. First of all, the first one is I've seen so many videos recently which are like, these books would put me on your Rob list, and I thought they were really, really fun, and I wanted to do one. And then I realized I don't really collect a lot of things. I'm a very specific collector in terms of what I do collect. And so I was like, ugh, would anyone really even want to see a video from that? Secondly, I've taken you all along recently on my journey making this Babel scarf here. And I realized afterwards that if you are a recent follower of mine, you may not know about my obsession with Babel. But also, if you're a recent follower of mine, you might not know my obsession with RF Kuang, which has gone back way since before Babel. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that, do a little bit of story time about all of my various RF Kuang books, how I felt about them, and also just talk about it and show you my collection. So I thought that would be fun. If it's not, I'm sorry in advance. So I just have to move everything around because I want to go chronologically, of course, and tell you all how I first became obsessed with RF Kuang's writing and talk about my collection a little bit. So the first one is that I've been following and enjoying Rebecca's books since before the Poppy War. I was a very early supporter of the Poppy War. I'll obviously link everything, literally everything down below. But I read an arc of the Poppy War, which is this arc, before the Poppy War came out. I remember that this had been one of my most anticipated releases. I knew I was going to love it. At that time, I was a baby book blogger. I had never really even gotten an arc sent to me, and I didn't get this one sent to me. I got it in a trade. I don't even remember what it was. I think it was like, I don't even remember what I was trading basically, but I got the Poppy War traded to me in an arc, and it was like already in the package. There was a press release from the publisher in it as well. There was like a little Poppy bookmark, and it kind of just broke my heart on one hand to see that, but also secondly, oh my god, I got an arc of the Poppy War. That was my thought process behind it. Basically, I read it and I loved it, obviously. And then because I was a book blogger and a book reviewer and the press release was already in it, I was like, hey, let me just email the publicist and be like, I really loved this book. Here's my review. I'm going to be posting it. Basically what I would have done if I had gotten this book sent to me by the actual publisher. And I did that, and I didn't really expect to hear back anything, honestly, in the rest of my life. But there, I loved it. Then, I'm not exactly sure, the timeline for this gets a little bit dodgy. I don't know if it was then that the Dragon Republic came out. No, I think not. And then later, Rebecca went and did an event at BookCon, Book Expo. That's how long ago this was. So then that must be like around 28. I don't even remember when. That's how long it was ago. And I loved the Poppy War, and I got a copy of it signed by Rebecca at Book Expo, which was just really fun because at this point I had already been obsessed with the Poppy War, even though as I saw an event actually that Rebecca did, Rebecca was saying that the Poppy War didn't even sell that much in terms of pre-orders or in like the first release week, but it's one that obviously gained traction to the point in which Rebecca did go to Book Expo, and that's where I got the sign. But it got to the point which by that point so many people loved the series and loved the books, and so I actually, with a friend, we were doing a workshop at the Asian American. Basically they were trying to get more Wikipedia pages for Asian authors because there just weren't that many. And so my friend and I, who were both RF Kuang stans at that point, we're like, let's just do it for Rebecca. And we did. And so when I got this book sign, I was like, oh my god, actually we like also helped make your Wikipedia page. And it was funny because at the time Rebecca said that she had a bet, I guess, with a person about, you know, when she would get a Wikipedia page, and that was it. Like, we helped do this, so that was really fun. That was a story I wanted to mention. In the meantime, after that, though, the Dragon Republic and the Burning God came out, which obviously I have arcs of for these. The Dragon Republic one was actually sent to me mostly because I loved this book series so much, and like honestly, it rewrote my personality, I guess. And so I think the Burning God I ended up getting, but it was a struggle because by this point, by the Burning God point, RF Kuang's writing has kind of taken off. Everybody in the world now starts to love RF Kuang. And I'm like, yes, please do, because I have loved RF Kuang's books from a really long time. And so join me on that. So this arc was really hard to get, actually, because of, it actually has the years. Yeah, so the Poppy War was in 2018. The Burning God was in 2020. And so this was actually very hard for me to get. All of RF Kuang and Rebecca Kuang's arcs after this get very hard to get. Also, actually, I say that knowing that they've always been really hard for me to get, as I told in the story for the Poppy War. But anyway, this I had to finagle my way into getting. I also didn't even know if I was going to get it. Basically, had to use all of my magical powers. And then obviously I got these ones signed. When did I get these signed? Because that's obviously also part of the story. I pretty sure I got these signed. I got a whole bunch of these signed because I actually drove from New York to Yale, actually. I drove to Yale, so New Haven, Connecticut. I drove, I think it was like 3 hours for me, or maybe 2-ish and a bit. I drove to this event, got there early so I could get a seat. I got about 8 books signed. These 2 were part of them. I think maybe the other 2 books as well. The other 2 arcs might have been there. Saw the event, drove home. Like, it was a long day to be doing that, but I did it because I need them signed as well. So that kind of takes us through the Burning God, the Poppy War, all of those. I also want to mention that at this point for the Poppy War, by the time the Burning God comes out, the Poppy War, I've done an interview with RF Kuang before on my blog, which I'll link below. But also, RF Kuang, for the Burning God, wanted to do a whole set of interviews or conversations with readers and bloggers specifically who had helped support the entire series from the Poppy War. And I was like, I've loved this series since the Poppy War. Please collab with me. And we did. We collabed for the Burning God. We had a conversation there. So I will also link that one down below. Now we're going to get... Yes. I'm going to go back and we're going to talk about these babies later because that's not chronological. So now we're going to go to Babel, which also rewrote my personality in some senses. And in this one, I've now ingratiated myself so much with the team that works on RF Kuang's books that they kind of know me. Not like know me in a personal sense, but know how annoying I can be, I guess. So I'm sent the arc for Babel by RF Kuang, the US one. Anyway, so that needs to be given a little bit of context because by the time Babel rolls around, so I think I commented and I was like, oh my god, these are so fantastic. Rebecca actually helped send this one to me in the sense that my contact information was passed on to the UK team. They sent me this. They sent me like a little pamphlet and a pin, which is so fabulous. I have saved all of those different things, but also this arc I have saved, obviously. I think this also went to Yale with me, but I wanted to say those 2 stories basically about the Babel ones, and then obviously Babel comes out and I buy all of the gorgeous editions. Here we have the Fairy Loot one with the fabulous spine. They have this silver to show you, this silver detailing for Babel. Really beautiful art for that Babel as well. At the time as well, I am sent the Barnes & Noble's exclusive edition as well, which has a bonus, I think, bibliography at the back. Let me check. Yes. It has a bonus annotated bibliography for Babel in there. I think that's the bonus content for the Barnes & Noble's edition. I also buy the Illumicrate edition, obviously, which has this beautiful kind of case. which I love a good case. Then it has this detailing on the front, which is the tower. And then on the spine, it says, an active translation is always an active betrayal, which is one of the things about Babel. I will link down below my video essay about Babel and also my review for Babel. So gorgeous. And I always keep it, though, in the slipcase there. And since I love the design that Fox and Wit did for their alternate dust jacket, we have the Fox and Wit one, which includes also just the normal Babel one. And you can see from my Babel reread I did how much I love this book, basically. Look at that. It's a little ASMR of all the tabs that I have. They're also all color coordinated, so we have feminism, translation, colonialism, racism, and quotes that I love are all different colors here. So that takes us through to the Babel world. And now I want to talk about why I have a paperback copy of The Burning God. In the time that Babel comes out, I get a message from someone being like, hey, I just picked up my paperback copy of The Poppy War. Did you know you're in it? And I was like, why would I be in this? So at this point, though, all of the paperbacks have come out. And I go to my local Barnes & Noble at the time, and I'm like, what is this? The only one I can find in stock is a copy of The Burning God. And I'm looking in the front. And in the front, it says, praise for The Burning God. And I'm like, okay, sure. Because obviously, if I'm going to be in this book, where would I be in it? It's also, I think someone sent me a photo, and it was in the praise section, obviously. Because as I said, like, where would I be in this book? Anyway, praise for The Burning God. Okay. Praise for the Dragon Republic. Okay. Yet at the end of the praise for the Dragon Republic, it says, at the very, very last quote, a sequel born of flames and emerging not unscathed but anew, enter the Dragon Republic. Utopia State of Mind. That's me. In this copy. This, like, I'm still flummoxed, honestly, because I didn't know that this was going to be happening until someone told me. And if no one had actually texted me, I never would have known. So just so you know, if you ever see my blog name or me on any promotional stuff, whether that be like a NetGalley ad, a Goodreads ad, a book, acknowledgements, please let me know, because I literally never see these. Sometimes they're not even like run by me, which is okay, but sometimes I never see them until someone tags me. So please, if you get nothing from this video, tag me if you see me around, because it will make my day. But also, I don't know when I'm gonna be featured, because you know, I've submitted a review on NetGalley, or I've emailed the publisher my link for something, or sometimes even the publisher just goes through all the reviews and finds links and quotes that they like, and then they will use them, but I don't necessarily know. So anyway, the Dragon Republic, that's me, I'm there. And then it also says, praise for the Poppy War, blah, 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 blah. All these fantastic reviews. And then it says, at the end of that one, the Poppy War feels entirely immersive and rich in a way that kind of sucks you in. It's a treasure trove. Utopia State of Mind. I will go back actually for fun, and I don't know if that's my favorite quote that I've written from either review. I wrote an essay about how much I love The Burning God, but by the time The Burning God comes out, like, they definitely just like don't need me to say anything about it. But yeah, I loved those ones, and I actually adore so much that I'm in it. Like, it is so emotional and so precious that I am. And so when I showed Rebecca the Babel scarf that I made for an event to sign for Yellowface, I bought a copy of The Poppy War, mostly because at the time I could not find my copy of The Burning God. And I was like, I want to get something signed, so I'll just get this signed. And it's fun because obviously in the blurb for the Poppy War, it just has praise to the Poppy War. Maybe I'll get the Dragon Republic, because honestly now I have 2 out of 3. But then it has Rebecca's signature, and then Rebecca's name, and then my name, and they're like right next to each other. I think that's so cool. Anyway, So we're messing with the timeline a little bit because obviously that's later, but I just wanted to mention that. Then by this time, Yellowface has come out. As I said, I went to a Yellowface event, but I brought the Babel scarf and the Poppy War book, so that wasn't very great, I guess. At this point, though, I have now gotten the US ARC for Yellowface. I've also gotten it signed, right? Yeah, I've gotten it signed. I now have everything here signed in various forms. So anything I get new, I have to get signed because it just won't match now. Anyway, we have the US ARC of Yellowface, which I absolutely adored. I will put a photo here of the photo I actually did for Yellowface once I finished that Rebecca reposted on her Instagram stories. I was so shocked by that. After finishing from a pivotal moment in the story where I'm like, I want to look... You'll see the photo obviously next to me, but I was like, I can't have my eyes closed even though I'm unalived in this photo because I'm referencing a scene from Yellowface. But I want to look like I don't want to have dead eyes. I don't want my eyes to look lifeless. I don't want them to look like I'm kind of just like a zombie. I want it to look like haunting, I guess. Hopefully I got any of that in the photo. But yeah, that was the photo for Yellowface. And I had a really fantastic friend, Elle. I will link all of Elle's socials down below. But Elle was able to help me get a Yellowface UK ARC. It's different. It has a different front, as you can tell. Also, the back of them are also different there. So I got a Yellowface UK ARC as well. I definitely remember. So I got these Yellowface ARCs signed. I don't know if both of them or just one of them signed when I went to a different event for Rebecca, which was actually Rebecca's first ever Germany event. I went to that event. I traveled on the train to that. I think it was like 3 hours on the train, basically. Went to event, sprinted out of the event, caught my last train home, got home. Like, that was another day that was a lot of traveling. And so I actually remember asking in line when I'm in this event, like, hey, could I go in front of you in line? I have my train in 20 minutes. And Rebecca was really nice because I was like, hey, I'm really sorry, but like I have to go. Could you just sign my books before I have to go? And so I also remember that event really fondly. We have in the Yellowface world, we have the standard US edition. This was actually signed already. I got this from the publisher and it was already signed when I got it from the publisher. So that was like the surprise of my life, basically. And in terms of the Yellowface special editions I just have the Illumicrate one, which is this, mostly because when I saw the designs for Yellowface, which by the way, for Babel, we never saw the designs before they were released because they were kind of like, they weren't special editions. They were actually just the book in the subscription box. So we didn't see them, but we saw the specs for the Yellowface ones. And in the Fairy Loot one, which I did like some of the aspects, I liked the pages, like the sprayed edges for the Yellowface one for Fairy Loot. But for the Illumicrate one, what I really, really loved is that underneath the dust jacket, it says The Last Front by Athena Liu / Juniper Song, which is definitely a nod to the book. And I really, really enjoyed that element so much. And so that's why I decided to pick the Illumicrate edition. And yeah, that is it. That's my RF Kuang, Rebecca Kuang collection. I'm just sitting here now with all of my stuff. I also have like pins and like bookmarks and stuff like that for the Poppy War and for Babel and everything like that, but I didn't really show them here because they're not like book related, except obviously I showed my scarf because I made this and now everyone has to know, is how I feel. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know which one of these books you would want from my collection. I don't know if I'll do another video like this. The only other person or only other author that I could possibly do a video like this for would be Chloe Gong. Yeah, actually that is the only other person. I don't know if I'm going to be collecting as much. As you see, I only have 2 copies of Yellowface, which is already really privileged, obviously, to say that I have 2 copies or any copies of Yellowface. Like this whole collection reminds me of how privileged I've been to be able to be an early supporter, to be able to have the ARCs, to the many editions of Babel, like the Poppy War physical copies as well, and now the paperbacks. The whole thing is extremely privileged and humbling and honoring so much to be a part of this. And yeah, if I could continue this for Catabasis, I would. But if I can't, I have already kind of need to remember and remind myself about how much this journey has meant and how much it will mean to me in the future, even if they're not in physical forms. So I guess that's how I'll end this. I hope you all have a really great rest of your reading day, week, month, and year, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!